everybody, I'm going to make this Ethiopian stew that I found online. I do not know how to actually pronounce it, but they call it Ethiopian cabbage, potato, carrot, like stew, I guess that's what it looks like. I don't even want to try to say it. Let's see. There you go. There's all the ingredients, and I'll be kind of reading them off as I go along. But at least here you can take a screenshot if you need it. Right now I'm going to prep some veggies. It calls for 3/4 of a cup of sliced carrot, 2 medium potatoes chopped, which is about 1.5 cups. I have these cute little fingerling potatoes, so I'm going to chop those up and use those. I have some baby carrots over here that I'm going to chop up. It also calls for 1/2 head of cabbage, which I have, and then it calls for 1/2 cup of onion, which I'm also going to chop up. Once that's all chopped up, I'll be back to you. So as you can see, I'm in the middle of chopping stuff, but I have a quick tip. If you need to chop up some ginger, an easy way to do it is you use your microplane and then you just grate it on it. You can do the same thing with the garlic. Let me show you. Grate as much as you need. And then when you're done, put it back in your freezer safe container, pop it back in the freezer, and the ginger will last you forever. Alright, so everything's chopped up. I have it all separated into bowls according to how I'm going to need it. So I've got my 1.5 cups of potato and 3/4 of a cup of carrot in here. It calls for 1/2 head of cabbage, and I had one like whole baby cabbage, so I chopped that up. And then, I don't know if you can hear my fun electric burner heating up, but what's about to go into that pot is a teaspoon of olive oil, 1/2 cup of onion, 2 cloves, and I actually did 3 cloves of garlic, and a teaspoon of ginger. We're going to saute that up first, let that get all fragrant. Then we're going to add the spices. Let's saute up the onion and garlic for about 5 minutes. We're going to add the spices, saute those up for about 2 minutes just to kind of like bloom the flavors. My spices that it calls for are, and you will notice that I do not have most of these, or some of these, is cumin, turmeric, fenugreek seeds, cardamom powder, cinnamon, and clove. My husband is not a fan of cinnamon in savory dishes, so I'm leaving that out. I do not have the fenugreek, cardamom, and then I'm going to leave the clove out as well. So I'm just going to kind of wing it. I am putting in the 1/4 teaspoon of cumin. I'm putting in a 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric. We have a jerk seasoning that I'm going to put a teaspoon in of because it's quite spicy, because I'm not putting in the green chili that the recipe calls for. I'm putting in about a teaspoon or so of oregano, and then 2 to 3 teaspoons, maybe not quite a tablespoon, so I'm sorry, probably close to like a teaspoon of smoked paprika, and we'll go from there and see how that tastes, and I'll be back with you in just a minute. Alright, I've been sauteing this for a few minutes. It's very fragrant. I don't want my garlic to burn, so I'm going to go ahead and add the spices. We're going to stir this around to kind of bloom the spices, get some really good flavor out of them, and then we're going to add in some of our veggies. So look at that gorgeous yellow color. That's from the turmeric. Really pretty. It smells so good in here right now. For those of you that are not veg heads, it kind of smells like chorizo, which used to be one of my favorites. Anywho, I'm going to go ahead and add in the potato and carrot mixture. I'm going to get that mixed in really well, and then I'm going to stir in the cabbage. Alright, there's that mixed up. I'm going to add in the cabbage. We're going to get that mixed up really good, and then it says to add in a little bit of salt, mix it well, and let it cook for about 15 minutes. So I'll see you all in about 15 minutes. A little tip, since this doesn't use that much oil, I didn't want it to burn, so this little ramekin that I used to put my spices in, it's equal to about 1/4 of a cup. I just filled that up with some water, poured that in. You can hear it sizzling a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and cover this and let it cook for the 15 minutes, but adding the water helps it to not stick to the bottom and burn. Alright everybody, here it is after 15 minutes. It smells awesome. The recipe now calls for me to add a teaspoon more oil and a 1/4 teaspoon more salt, bringing the total to 2 teaspoons of olive oil and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Gonna be up to you if you want to omit that, add more, whatever you like. And then it's going to cook for another 15-20 minutes until the potatoes are tender, and then we'll be back to see how it tastes. Alright, so there's the finished product. Looks good, smells good. Hubby even says it tastes good, just needs more salt. I told him he needs to get used to lower sodium. So I'm going to do a final bite for you. Hey everybody, I'm going to do the bite for you. I got it cooling over here because it's really hot. That's good. Alright. This is supposed to be served with flatbread, but we don't have that, so I have these organic full spelt tortillas. We're going to try to eat it with that, and I'm sure it's going to be nummy. See y'all later. Bye! Alright, so my husband's putting his together. He put some of the stew on there, some baby mixed greens, organic mixed greens from Trader Joe's, and now he's adding some sprouts. What else are you going to add?
I'm probably going to finish it with some balsamic glaze.
Which is also from Trader Joe's, which is nummy. He always comes up with these awesome combinations, and then I hate my food and I want his food, so he's making his first to see if I want that one. So there you go.